Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Wasn't that amazing what you just saw? So we planted caladium bulbs about 4 or 5 weeks ago as bare bulbs, bare tubers into the ground, and this is what we have now. Isn't that amazing? So the bulbs that we used are from Proven Winners and Classic Caladiums. The one that you're seeing right here is called White Star, and it is just beautiful. White Star has really large foliage, and as you can see, they have a white center, which is why they're called White Star. Now I'm going to tell you everything that we love about caladiums and what you'll need to know if you want to plant them as bulbs. So when you plant them in the ground, you want to plant them just about 1 inch or 2 below the surface. If you go any deeper, they may still sprout, but it's going to take a much longer time for the foliage to push out. Now, for most of us in the United States, we're going to be treating caladiums as annuals. So what that means is these will not come back next year if you leave them in the ground. Unless you are in zones 10 to 11, you guys are the lucky ones. You can leave them in the ground and they'll be a perennial. They will actually multiply year after year, similar to spring flowering bulbs, and they'll just get bigger and bigger, and you'll have a more floriferous show year after year. But for us here in 7B, we plant them as annuals. So what you'll notice in the hole, we put some slow release fertilizer, which is going to give them a lot of food so that we get a lot of foliage out of them this year. So once you put them in the ground, it will take about 1 to 2 weeks for you to start seeing little spikes push up, and then the first leaf will push straight up out of the ground and then just open up. Please keep in mind when you're planting caladiums that you want to make sure that the low temperature is not going to drop below 55 degrees. Now, if you do happen to plant them before that time, it's okay, usually. It will probably just take a little bit longer for the caladiums to come up. However, if we have a late frost, a late freeze, which you know that we normally do, especially here in North Carolina, you could risk losing your plants. So just wait until you get to that 55-degree low, and then you're good to plant them outside. Now, because these are annuals, you can fertilize these like annuals as well. So you can come along once a week with your water-soluble fertilizer, and they're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and produce more leaves. Now, the nice thing about caladiums is that there is no deadheading required, and they even will bloom occasionally. So you may see one little bloom perk up. I don't think that we have any in bloom at the moment, but it is a very unique bloom, and maybe I'll try to find a picture so that we can show you on screen. But when that bloom is done, you may want to come out here and snip that off. You don't need to for them to continue pushing out new leaves. They will just keep going for you. They are a super low maintenance plant. Now, the 2 varieties that we have planted here in our video, those are good for sun or shade. So you can plant them in the sun, you can plant them in the shade, or anywhere in between, and they will be good to go. The only thing that you might notice is there may be slight color variation between planting in sun versus shade. Now, I could go through every single variety of caladiums, but we'd be here all day. There are a ton out there, a ton of different colors, from white to green to pink, red, you name it. There is probably a caladium with that color. They are super versatile. They can go in the ground. They can go in hanging baskets, as you've seen us do. You could put them in pots. They are even great for houseplants. We are thinking of digging some of these up to bring them inside for the holiday season, especially since they are red and green. Now, we personally love caladiums when they are planted in mass, kind of as you see here. I think next year we would do the same color all the way around the tree for a big bright pop of color. Since this is such a dark space around the tree, it would be nice to have the white ones all the way around. Regardless, they are still beautiful, even with multiple colors out here. Now, I did also want to point out that there are different shaped and style of leaves with caladiums. You can see here the White Star has a little bit more of a ruffled edge, while the other variety, Flatter Me, has a more flat leaf shape, which is probably why it's called Flatter Me. But as you're browsing through caladiums on the Proven Winners website, you may notice that you see some different kind of leaf shapes and textures, which makes them really unique and interesting. Now, I'm giving you all of this information as we're going into fall, and you're not going to be able to plant caladiums right now, unfortunately. But when it comes springtime next year, you're going to have all of this knowledge, and you can go online and order your caladiums from Proven Winners, and you will be ready to go. Now, when you're placing your order, you want to make sure that you're putting about half a foot to a foot in between each caladium. If you want a more dense show, you can definitely plant them closer together. But you want to think of this almost to how you would plant tulip bulbs. So that kind of spacing is what you want to look for. Now, when you get them, just as you saw in the beginning of our video, they will come in a package wrapped up with just the bulb and maybe some sawdust around to keep moisture in. You want to get them into the ground as soon as you can if the weather is cooperating. So that's a big if. Keep that in mind. You may be thinking now, I'm very excited about caladiums, I want to order them, but where do I put them in my garden? Because of their height, they are a really great second row plant. So as you can see here, we have our impatiens in front and then we have the caladiums behind, which gives you a nice height difference and gives you some good layering in your garden. So another thing to consider. Now, there are a ton of different ways to use caladiums in your garden or even inside as houseplants. I hope this video inspired you and gave you some great information for next year's planting. If you would like to order some caladiums for next spring, you will have to wait until the spring, but I will link the website below in the description so that you know exactly where to go, and you can even go ahead and start browsing and picking out some of your favorites. That is it for today's video. I hope you are all excited about caladiums as we are. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the like button below. That helps us out a ton. As for now, we're going to sign off and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.